Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
Welcome back, everyone, and pay attention to the Mill Casino. We got some stuff coming up for all of you as well here in our near future. Tim Silva from Tac Rig. Tim, it's great to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, I met Kevin, one of the guys that works with you.
Yes, sir.
A couple months ago, right before hunting season got started, had a chance to spend some time with him, learn about Tac Rig, and at the time, I was getting ready for my elk season, right?
Yes,
so my focus was the chest rig behind my bino harness. We'll get there in a second. But with Tac Rig, kind of tell everybody what this is all about, and how you got started in this. You're a young guy, and you're making tactical gear that I think, I'm going to say over-engineered. That's a good thing. But where did the experience come from for wanting to make something so different than what's already available?
Sure. Well, so basically, thanks for having me on the show.
Sure.
But basically, this came out of my own frustration for what was on the market already. And I wanted to solve a couple problems that I felt were kind of holes in the market. And so we literally made a checklist of all the failures of holsters that were out there. And I'm not saying they're all bad, but I'm saying that there's a good list of like things that we wanted to check off with this design. And then we formed the design around that. And so basically checked off, you know, safety and retention, and we wanted it to be modular. We wanted to be able to use it in a multitude of applications, stuff like that. So it was born out of my frustration for spending my hard-earned money on individual things that seem to fail in different ways.
Interesting.
So yeah, came at it from an engineering standpoint as opposed to kind of just making another product.
Is that your background?
It is not.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Usually when somebody says that, it's like a light, bing, okay.
Yeah.
He needed to come up with something better than what he was experiencing. Well, the first thing that I noticed, and elaborate here when you can, as a gun owner, well, a lot of us, if not all of us, have a couple, 3, 4,
Absolutely.
12, Mike, 10 or more. Is that sometimes you're going to want to carry your concealed for any particular day. You might want to change that up.
Right. You
can change these. You can have one, let's just say inside the waist belt here, kidney, right?
Yeah.
No, kidney, appendix.
Appendix.
And maybe you want to change that up and put a different pistol there. You can take this off and clip it on. Everything stays the same.
Right.
That's where the modularity comes
in a matter of seconds. We didn't want you to have to pull out your toolkit or, you know, fumble around with a bunch of small parts. So everything's built on a quick disconnect system that pops right on. Seconds, you're up and running with a different pistol.
Let's see how quick it is. Here you go. This is an inert piece of plastic, everyone. Please keep your emails to yourself. But there you go. So let's see how quick that is.
Pops right on. And this retention hardware is rated at over 1,000 pounds vertical and horizontal shear. So you don't have to worry about anything happening.
Interesting.
It's also made out of coated brass, so it doesn't rust in your pants.
Okay, so which is definitely something to consider.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things here that were really well thought out so that we didn't end up with issues later on.
I actually have one that says it's stainless steel hardware and it is rusted.
Yeah.
How does that happen? Okay, I'm not getting sidetracked here. Okay, but here's where the cool part is. Now, if you've got this all set up, right, now it's on wherever it is. Everybody's different. Everybody wants to carry in a different spot because of body size, body type, what you're doing that particular day.
Absolutely,
You know, you might want to do something completely different. Go from appendix to kidney to strong side, whatever. I mean, there's a number of different reasons why you could change. But you've got a number of different versions, right? So you got your inside the waist belt. You got another one for strong side. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So this is one of our newest additions, and this is for appendix dedicated carry.
Okay.
This is for your strong side carry, anything from like 2:30 to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Or depending on if you're left-handed, obviously that changes up. And then something that's really cool, if you want to take that exact same firearm and shell, you don't have to buy another holster, and you can switch it to outside the waistband as well.
Ah, dude, that's so lit. Yeah. And it's the same holster. You don't have to go out and buy another one.
You don't change anything.
But then you can take that same unit, and this is where Kevin really got me excited about. Because when we're in the woods, we've talked about this before, right? You always want to be safer. Well, let's just be honest here. You always want to feel safe, okay? You got a 1,000-pound brown coming at you. You'll feel better. You'll feel better, but it's nice to be able to keep it up high and be able to change things. Because I actually have one, and it comes out, straight I hate it. I'd much rather be able to adjust it.
Absolutely.
You can do that with this. You can
Yes,
change
sir.
it 360 all the way around on the back of that thing and swap it out super fast.
Yeah, so as you can see from our mounting hardware, we wanted to leave it up to the user. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so we didn't recreate bino harnesses. We'll let you use your bino harness.
Sure.
But now you don't have to run 2 sets of straps. If you want to run a chest rig only, you can do that with our chest rig. But if you don't want to run 2 sets of straps plus a backpack, I mean, you're talking straps everywhere,
Everywhere,
right?
and it's super uncomfortable, and it gets in the way.
So we give you the opportunity to put your gun onto your current bino harness and draw from right behind it. So you can set this up on your bino harness and draw from right behind it. We're using the QU harness here, but there's a multitude of our other harnesses out there. And basically, like I said, all this whole pattern here lets you decide the cant, the draw angle, everything else. We had a lot of hunters come up at shows and said, hey, I had a shoulder injury. I can't do this set cant that this company sent me this thing for, but it's the only one it does.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing is they can adjust this 360 degrees, draw however they want based on their harness, their abilities, their body type. Like you said, you nailed it. There's no like cookie cutter, like this is what you should wear all the time and carry. It's what day is it? Where am I going? What's the weather? That's really, that's what changes up my EDC.
And if there's folks out there that carry binos when you're hunting, or listen, it's not even hunting. If you're a ranch hand, or you're just covering ground, you're in the woods, you're in a place that, you know, you just want to make sure that you're comfortable. I like using that term. There are versions out there, the older style, where they actually have the pistol below your bino harness. And you mentioned this before the show, where you're walking around and it's going.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay, that is not cool.
Yeah, you're hunting and hiking all day, and we've had guys come up and they're like, this thing just beats me up the entire day, and I never end up using it because this is a last resort. If I'm pulling this gun, something went terrible that day, right?
It's all bad.
So why beat yourself up all day? So we have a flexible, breathable backer. It's washable, like I said, breathable, as opposed to a leather that's going to get real sweaty and hot and start to decay over time. This is literally indestructible.
Now, I know that we're talking about everyday carry, EDC kind of stuff. Also, what we're going to utilize for in the outdoor situation, like what we all do if you're watching Outdoor GPS, right? I mean, if you're in the woods, it's a mandatory thing for myself and pretty much everybody that I spend time in the mountains with, that we're going to have some sort of sidearm protection with us, let alone whatever else. But that's going to be there. We're going to talk about that, whatever else, here in a little bit. This is super cool because I love the idea. You mentioned when you came in, this is a brand new product for you. Yep. We're going to talk about that here in a minute. But for all of you out there that are tactical, maybe law enforcement, feds, different things, because there's different restrictions,
absolutely.
that are out there. He makes everything. Now, the belt is not yours.
The belt is not ours.
But all the attachments on here, you can see here, he's got his mag holder as well. He's got his tourniquet on here, emergency kit here as well. And then, of course, his strong side holster.
So
that's interesting.
Exact same concept, right? So you can take that exact same gun. This is actually a gun that I carry concealed throughout the week. And then if I'm going to the range and doing some training, I'm up and running on my mid-ride drop also.
And you're just swapping it out.
Yeah, I don't have to own two pieces of hardware.
This is yours here.
Yes,
and then
sir. Yes, sir.
Very, very interesting. And Ryan's going to be showing you the website. And there's just a fraction of what Tim has available here. You go to their website, you're going to see all kinds of different ways that you can configure how you like to retain your sidearm. It's very, very interesting on the ways that they put it together. And I think once you put it in your hands, which is what I noticed when I met Kevin, was that it's completely different. I think I've got two specific pistols that I use when I do carry. That's what I have. Both of the holsters for each one of them are very much different. And they are not adjustable. Now, you had mentioned you can take tools out and do this and that, but you get very small increments of movement, and a lot of times it goes to a spot where it's just not very comfortable. This is very much changeable, and it sounded like, talking with Kevin, that this kind of breaks in a little bit as well.
A little bit, yeah. And so what's nice is when leather breaks in, sometimes it can sneak into that trigger guard and becomes unsafe.
Right.
But we've given you double trigger protection on both sides with a hard shell, and it's a USA-made thermoform plastic also. But this can actually break into your body immediately because it just conforms, right?
Sure.
One thing that I'll mention that's really, really relevant here is once you get your cant, which is your angle, and your ride height set up, the nice thing is every gun that we pop on there indexes index is the same way.
Okay,
so you don't have to
right.
set up a bunch of holsters in a bunch of different ways. There's something that you just brought up. If I'm carrying my Glock 17 or I'm carrying my P365, they're going to be at the same angle and ride height no matter what, because this universal backer is going to get set up in a specific way, and it's going to stay that way forever.
Which is an advantage all the way around, because you start talking about 3, 4, 5 different holsters for 2, 3 different guns. Now you got as much money in retention as you do in the pistol itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, there's a number of reasons why a local company like Tac Rig is an interesting thing to look into, especially if you're in the market for something like that, or you're very tactical, or again, you want to have some of the best to train with. Local company. I just can't get over that itself. And it's super cool, by the way.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more with Tim in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Outdoor GPS is brought to you by Chevy Silverado and the impressive Turbo Max engine. Flex your muscle with the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. Official truck of Outdoor GPS.